Yo, what up to the apes? How's everybody doing? I hope the weekend is going really well. I actually wanted to poke through a little bit of this video just because a couple people were talking about Andrew Left crying, and I think it's from this live stream that they got the picture from because it looks like the background for him. But I was curious if it was in here. So who do we got in the house? Looks like we got Jacoby. Great to see you. Jacoby says no sound. That is by design. It is so that the video does not become copyright infringed. The main issue with that is they literally can pull the whole video down. It's not just that it gets demonetized. That's annoying, but that's whatever. It's that they'll literally pull the video. So, and TCM King says he leaves sound off, so no copyright. Yep, that's exactly correct. And then TCM news videos like this should be fine. Yeah, so it's really tricky. The problem with stuff like this is that it is entirely up to discretion. So other larger entities get a little bit more of a pass than smaller entities like me, because smaller entities like me are more likely to use somebody else's brand or information to grow our own brand. It's obviously not what I'm doing at all, but that's the angle. Whereas larger entities, they typically add audience into the sphere, so they get a much bigger pass. Fun fact, I was actually really, really surprised because TCM King, to your point, one of the videos that got copyrighted from a live stream, and they literally pulled the whole video down, was that video that we talked about, the different vaccines. And after that video, I went through the section that they flagged, and they said a couple things about it. And I listened to the section, and I realized that it's just kind of like a topic that is really sensitive to a lot of entities. And then I was listening to a podcast with Joe Rogan that was on YouTube, and his podcast was actually kind of smashing some of them. And that video is still up, and I'm glad that it is. I'm not saying that I'm upset that there's a double standard or anything like that. That's not it at all. But it does highlight that size. Sorry, fellas, size does matter. So it applies in this space very much. So yeah, that's why I'm super careful about it. Now, for those that are curious about things like fair use, that's the problem with fair use, is it doesn't have a definition. Fair use is like a very open-ended laissez-faire thing. So I am convinced that I could easily play clips of this. Like if we wanted to listen, right? Like we can listen to that just fine. There's no problem if I play a little bit here and there, and then I add some transformative overlay language on top of it. But what I do for you guys when I start like the holding room is I just prefer to have something on in the background for you all to take a look at. And if it's just playing by itself all the way straight, that's when it becomes much more problematic. This is all shit that I don't know anything about, man. Like I literally am just kind of figuring this all out as I'm floating along on this space rock, and it's very entertaining. But what do you guys think? Did Roaring Kitty listen to this? Like when he was talking about it, out of curiosity? Because I have no idea what the cat does or does not do. But I am curious because that's what they were just speculating, that the cat might have been listening in. And so what's the agenda for today? Well, the agenda is pretty damn simple. TCM Ked says, listen to what the news, no, to Left, because they were literally here. I'll play the section for you. Give me a sec. This section right here. Listen.
Page, if you will. It clearly hasn't started. Maybe he's listening to our interview now. Maybe he's hearing you cast doubt on him, on the trading, the company itself. I mean, if you could speak directly to him, what would you say?
What would he say?
What are you thinking about?
So that's the section. I'm actually curious if you guys think that he was listening to that one, because that's kind of funny. That would be like a giant what's the Inception moment where like they're waiting to watch him but he's watching them. That's pretty funny. Lauren says that's not the one where Left cries. Where where is that? I don't actually think he cries. I would love to see it. I've never seen it. Which one does he actually cry in? And then for those that don't know, tonight we're adding a Izzy into the mix. And it's very good, but it tastes like straight diabetes. It's like 14 grams of sugar and 8 ounces. It's a shit ton of sugar. The one he's all red-faced is from 2021. We have to find that one eventually. I need to see that because that's just so damn funny. If there's like a whole grown-ass man crying about this, I have to see that. All right. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time to get to work. We got some stuff to do. While I'm getting this genned up, we do need to update our map. Do we have any new map ads? So if you're new listening in and you've not hopped on these before, I like to add where people are dialing in from, where people are listening in from, so that we can see just how expansive this whole thing is. We officially had somebody from Greenland, which is pretty fucking sick, I think. And we have the US is a shotgun blast. South America looks quiet. Africa's still blank. Fun fact, my good friend's actually going to Africa, so I might have to have him dial into one of these live streams at an obscene time so that I can at least put a little pin on the map in good faith. We got Australia. I think there was somebody that said they were from New Zealand. Yep, there's New Zealand. So we have good coverage. So if you've not let me know where you're from, throw it in the chat at any point, and I can update this as we go. All right, so let's start with a quick recap of GameStop. I talked a little bit about it on Thursday, and then we did a live stream Thursday. So I just want to talk specifically about the close. We have a couple events coming up pretty soon. This thing shows delayed data, so this might not load anything if it's going through an update phase, which it looks like is exactly what it's doing. Give me 1 sec. I'll dump you guys on the spare screen real fast. I'll close this down and see if I can reopen it back up. If not, I can just use something like TradingView or whatever. Well, I can't, it literally won't even close. There it goes. That was super weird. All right, let me log back in. Scott says Massachusetts. Well, while Thinkorswim is loading, let's see. Yeah, it looks like we have Massachusetts. Where in Massachusetts are you? What city? We can rep your city on the map. Right now, Thinkorswim is just installing updates. I don't know if it's going to actually work or not. We'll give it a couple seconds. Framingham. Whoa. It's different than what I would have expected. That's very different than what I expected. Oh, okay, so it's just west of Boston. My really good friend, he went to Northeastern. So I spent several a drunken night stumbling around Boston. Oh, that's funny. And I typically would take like the 95 in or something. CDJ says, do you have Miami? We can take a look. Miami. We don't. We had Florida, like just general Florida, but we didn't have Miami. Okay, so I don't know if Thinkorswim is just down for me or not. We'll pivot away from it. We'll just use TradingView or something. I'll leave it on in the background while it's trying to get its life together. We don't really need it. I wanted to use it for some charting and for some options analysis, which we can kind of talk about it anyways. Does TradingView have options? That would be kind of cool. Can you look at options on TradingView? Yo, TradingView's not opening either. What the fuck is happening right now? This is madness. Zach says, isn't Left in prison? No, he deferred his case, I want to say, for his trial isn't until next year now. It's not until like October of next year. All right, so trading view. My internet might be going down because I don't know what's happening right now. I am like gridlocked. I can't do shit. There it goes. Okay, so trading view just loaded. Damn. I'm not going to lie. I don't see. Oh, they do have options. This is great. So we could just use trading view. Fantastic. All right, so let's grab this map over here now. We'll just let Thinkorswim continue to brown in the background until it gets its act together. Move you guys over here. In case you're wondering, above my head here, this is Iceland. This is one of the glacial slides that we cruised up on. This is from my drone. GameStop. There we go. The joke is they're trying to keep me down as I'm trying to look at this stuff. Sometimes, joking aside, it can feel like that. Obviously, it's not what's actually happening, but it makes me feel generally annoyed. All right, so let's see what... I've never looked at options in here before. Oh, Lord. This is a... Oh, they have a surface, which is kind of nice. I mean... I don't know if we're going to be able to do much with this, guys. This is pretty rough. I can't see like OI. I can't see shit. I can't see shit in here. All right, let's just take a look at the chart. We'll just go to a chart. All right. Great week. Great week for GameStop. So GameStop, it landed up ever so slightly. Here's what I saw. This obviously was highly anomalous when the cat chose to post. That sent things in a fervor, and we talked about that. I literally made a video about that specifically because of genuinely how topical I think it kind of is. Because it definitely, beyond the shadow of a doubt, highlights the fact that there are algorithms specifically stalking when he posts. Like, that is it. You guys know that I do my absolute best to be as objective as humanly possible. And unless there's something that I'm very confident in, I won't call it straight. I would always caveat things as like, I could be wrong, and I can be wrong about this, to be very clear. I'm no fucking prescient, omnipotent being. There's no like heroes in this story. This is all of us just trying to figure it out as we go. But with something like this, I feel very confident to say that the price action that we saw when he posted, to me, made it very, very clear that there are algorithms stalking and trying to front run his posts and the expected impact of his posts. And I mean, right, wrong, indifferent doesn't really matter what I think, but what does matter is that's also a highly tradable effect. And it's objectively a tradable effect. It's actually something that is not too difficult to catch as it's happening. You just have to be very fast. But if we go into, can we do like a 1 minute, 1 second chart would be hella intense. We need to go here. So you can see at 10:45 when the cat dropped his nuts on the table via a nondescript meme with no text and no specific information about anything, obviously would send GameStop flying. And this volume jacked over this 1 minute candle. And then it subsequently drifted over a little bit of time. This actually begs the question, since this can go even shorter. Let's go to like 30 seconds. Oh, I can't go to 30 seconds because I have the peasant version of this. Maybe somebody that has the paid version of this could take a look in terms of seconds. That would actually be kind of neat to see. And then I got to pop the door for Thor because Mel just got home. He's losing his mind. All right. Zach says, what do you think back-to-back days, the 10:45-minute candles 24 hours apart? What do you mean? $10:45 here? Or you mean the day after? 10:45. I don't see anything sticking out to me there. Ah, I see here. Huh. Okay, so initial thoughts is I don't fucking know. That's very strange. Now, there are, and the reason why I went silent for a second is because part of what I do when I'm trying to analyze something that I can't necessarily identify an effect very quickly is I start to think of it in terms of probabilities. And I think of it in terms of different styles of explanations. So in this case, what I was doing is I was looking at all the different times around it to see if there's anything even close. And I don't see that. Now, the other thing to note is this had a clear catalyst. This did not, as far as we can see. And it also had, yeah, that's like a massive spike in volume. My guess it has something to do with like a 24-hour holding thing. I don't know why, but that would be my best guess. I don't know why. The volume itself, oh, interesting. So it looks like Thinkorswim is still having issues turning on. Are other people able to get onto Thinkorswim out of curiosity? Because mine just gave me like a proxy error. I don't actually see those too frequently. But TCM says thumb. It could be. Let's take a look at what. Fuck. I wish I could get on the damn platform so I could look at stuff. Let's take a look at 10:45. We can look at unusual whales and see if what we can find in there. Let me grab unusual whales. It's down for maintenance until 12 a.m. I hate it when they do this. I do so much of my work when the market is closed. That is so annoying. They need to. Lauren says, what is thumb? That's the thing that Rory and Kitty put up, this thing. This is from, I forgot what movie. You guys will know all of this stuff. I literally don't remember the movie name. I watched some of it. I didn't get through. Oh, Dune. That's it. I didn't get through all of it. But yeah, you put in like this little thing in the ground. It pulls the sandworm and then he has to like hook onto it to go for a ride with these little baby grappling hooks. That doesn't even really make sense to me. Cause like, I feel like to get on a worm that size, you need some fucking pikes of grappling hooks. Like those little baby grappling hooks ain't going to do it. You need like 2 pickaxes. Maybe Pickaxe Eye would be the name. Like you really feel like you got to be on there. And is he supposed to be able to steer it? Is that the idea? He's standing, but can he steer it? Was he steering it or just riding it? Because I feel like if you're trying to steer it by pulling them little lines, man, that's a big ass worm. You would need a big old hook in order to get that thing to move. That worm probably doesn't even know you're on there. Big ass worm. Reminds me of Tremors. You guys ever see Tremors? That was a fantastic movie. I love that one. Big fan. But that's what thump, thump, thump is. So there's an idea that the cat is doing something on the back end to cause disruption or movements for hedge funds and whatnot, like the larger institutions, which I do think that there could be some corollary there. But let's take a look. So let's stay objective about it for now. You know, we can grab the tinfoil hat. I still have the fucking tinfoil hat. It sits there right there on my printer. So we can get into tinfoil, but I really try to keep my feelings and thoughts about stuff aside and look at stuff objectively for you all so that you can then decide what you think. So let's go here. Let's go to, what was it? So Thursday's when he posted. So was it Friday? Wait, was that Friday? I don't think we need this one. It was Friday. The other trick here is this could be something to do with OpEx. I don't know what, but let's see. Can I do like a specific time? I can do a specific time. Great. And I want to do it from 10:40 to 10:50. No big dark pool trades. That's actually kind of interesting. I would have absolutely expected to see more movement there. Why the fuck is it giving me these weird ass times, bro? Like I just want the whole time. I guess this would leave a day off. That's annoying that you can't just like easily update those times. And then let's do it by 2, 4, 5. Yeah, nothing crazy there. And I know from an options perspective, there wasn't anything that stuck out to me. So I don't think it's that. Yeah. I don't think it was that. So this, man, that's very curious. Let's go back. Let's find another previous Friday. Here. Friday, November 29th. Wait, why does this... Was it a half day? Oh, we gotta go back more. Friday, the 24th. Oh, interesting. When is this spike? 57. 45, nothing. Okay. So that's probably just chasing ghosts. I could do a broader statistical analysis on intraday. But kind of want to do it. I don't want to waste your guys' time, but I kind of want to do it. Because what I would like to do is grab intraday minute level data from GameStop. And I can go back like at least the past month, and I can look at the number of instances where GameStop has higher than average intraday volume at 1045. The problem is there's not a ton we learn from it, but it's just kind of like a gnawing curiosity that I have. Yeah, let me do it real quick. It's not going to take me that long. I actually can probably get GPT or something like that to do this. So let me grab GME. And then let's go to historical data. And then we need minute level. We could do 15 minutes. That'll be a lot easier. 15 minutes. And then we'll see how far back. Maximum of 20,000 records, so it's not going to be able to go back very far, but that's okay. I'm just going to try to make it go back a couple months. It won't go back that far, though. That's all good. All right. And let's see what we have here. Where does this go back to? Yeah, okay, so it goes back a couple months. This is fine. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of clean this a little bit so that we can dump this into ChatGPT. So this looks okay. Save that. Kill it. Save that. I think I saved. Yo, just save, bro. What the am I tripping? This looks like I'm hitting save. What the fuck? Dude, it's the weirdest things whenever I'm doing shit for this fucking stock. I'm telling you, every fucking... It's always something weird. All right. And then for this, we want to use GPT. Let's grab this. I'm going to see. I want to see first if that's saved. So if it didn't save, then GPT typically has an issue with it. Oops, didn't mean to do that. It didn't save it. It's a fucking hater. Can you please save? I think it's saved. Okay, great. Now it's saved. Maybe I just had to ask nicely instead of insulting it. It's almost like there might be something to that. Okay, so now I'm going to have it analyze. Plot the average, no, plot the volume at 1045 to 1100 against the 1 day average. Now let's do against the average 15-minute volume for the same day. Identify the dates where there is anomalous volume at 1045 exceeding the average 15-minute volume by at least 2x. See what that says. I'm curious how well this will work for me. Let us see. In the meantime, I'm going to keep eyeballing a little bit. Okay, so it has a handful of instances. This is interesting. This is very interesting. So let's go to November 7th. I'm going to change this to 15 minutes so it's easier to navigate. 15 minutes. And let's go to November 7th. And there's one other thing I'm going to look at, by the way. I mean, the volume doubled there, but that doesn't, it's not that crazy. Okay. So now what I want to do is create a plot to identify the 3 most common 15-minute periods where volume expands at least. What do we want to look at? What is this? How do you view the volume on this? Oh, there it is. Okay. Volume is 720 to 740. So at least 2x from the intraday 15-minute average preceding. Okay, so to run down what I just found from the original looking at 1045, there are a few days that 1045 had anomalous volume, more than I would have expected, honestly. In a relatively short sample, it was at least 5 instances, 6 instances. So there's probably something from a programmatic standpoint when things are set to go. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to identify, and it's exactly what I would expect. So the 3 most common 15-minute periods with volume expansion is 0930. It's exactly what you'd expect. 1545, exactly what you would expect. And then 0945, which is not what you would expect necessarily. So this seems generally in line with expectations. So what that tells me from this movement that we saw over the last couple days, we would need to see more of it, is what it summarizes to. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that without a doubt, there's something going on here, like at the 1045 handle, because it's just 2 data points. It's weird. And in the world of data analysis, a lot of times what we do is we find things that are weird and then we pay close attention to them because we want to know if it's something that's persistent, if there's something behind it for some reason. But I do think there's something potentially behind that time frame. I just don't know what. But that's also not a bizarre time frame for transaction activity to start picking up. We're getting into like the last trading couple hours of the day. Volume will often expand during that time frame. So yeah, interesting, but not totally anomalous. Because again, one of the reasons why I wanted to see how many instances did we see volume for the 1045 candle expanding the average 15-minute volume by at least 2 times, and it happened quite a few times. I see 6 instances where it was way more than that, and quite a few more instances where it at least occurred. So yeah, I don't necessarily see anything jumping out at me there, but very interesting. What I find most interesting, to zoom this out and to talk about the chart from, I wish I had Thinkorswim up because it has all my shit. It feels like I'm in like a foreign house right now. It feels like I'm in somebody else's office trying to do my work. It's just not the same vibe, but I mean, we'll make it happen. The main thing is I have a few price levels that I think are really relevant and interesting. So we can see one of them creating a bit of a floor here. We can see blue. Why the fuck would it be blue? Blue is terrible. It needs to be like gold or something cool. Blue. Nobody got time for blue. Stop that immediately. Blue. It's trash. Absolute trash. The line is as thin as possible. That's good. Okay. So we can see price is clearly picking levels, which is, again, really, really nice to see. I would love to throw a volume profile on this, but I don't think I can because, again, I have the peasant version, and I think that you only get like 2 indicators. Oh, I could take I forgot, I have RSI on here. We could drop the RSI really fast, and then we can add volume profile if it has it. That would be cool. I don't really care about RSI here. Indicators, volume, profile. What the fuck? Auto anchored? That sounds right. Most important price points and volume levels depend on the chart current timeframes. Yeah, that's right. We want the... God damn it. Why can't I use this? Yo, these guys are haters. You can't put shit on this chart without buying it. Bastards. What's this thing do? That's not the same, but that would be fine if I can use this. Yeah, fine, whatever. This is whoever made this thing. I appreciate your effort. It is not at all what I want. This is oy vey. Never mind, gang. Let's just get rid of that. And let's Dust to Dust says search VRVP. Let's see. VRVP. Visible range volume profile. Yeah, this is closer. Still not what I want, but God damn it, Trading View. These guys are haters. I only have 1 indicator. They won't even let your boy get a second indicator on the for free. You gotta buy some shit. Damn it, Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim needs to be up right now. All right, well, this is what we're relegated to. Is we can have RSI, which is great, I guess. Beautiful for us. What I wanted to see there's a handful of price levels here that I think are really, really relevant. And we can't see them right now, but they're there. And what I'm noticing is price is consolidating pretty well. And I want to drive that point home because since price is consolidating pretty well, I find that to be really positive. And I find it to be so positive, even though it was a little bit of a down day, couple down days. I find it to be positive because this is like literally the assumption of more normal price activity. And I just think that's good for TradingView. Like, I don't see a scenario where that's net negative for TradingView here, or TradingView for GameStop. I don't know why I would say TradingView right now. I wouldn't say that I don't like them as much as Robinhood because I still like their stuff. I would just love it if they would let me get a second indicator on the chart for fucking free. I'm not asking for more than 2, but you know, beggars cannot be choosers. We only get these. So if you guys can, though, in the background, if you can keep trying Thinkorswim, because it might pop up while we're on here. I'll keep running it up once in a while and see. Wait a minute. The web platform. The web platform. Thinkorswim has a web platform. Fuck, that one's down too. I really thought I outsmarted him there. I really thought I had him going, but I didn't. Damn it. We tried. All right, let's get into this. Dust to Dust says you don't like TradingView. I think TradingView is fine. I don't use them. I use them obviously as like a backup, but you could tell how kludgy me getting around in it is. So yeah, like I typically just use Thinkorswim because Thinkorswim is completely fine and does everything I need. But TradingView is like the only one I've used so far as like a backup. So from that perspective, it's good. All right, so I remember this now. We have a way to find bingo. See, look how efficient we're getting here. We know where we're leaving off. Let us get in. I think we did this. Okay. So it looks good that Paul Revere has been definitely a staunch supporter of GameStop, going back to his famous ride in the middle of the night, letting everybody know first that the British were coming, and he's also letting us know that the tendies are coming, which is great. It's always good to have like really prolific figures a part of the journey and a part of the path here. So big fan. And let us now see what this person... Oh, I forgot. I remember. Don't worry. I remembered our cheat code to get through this. And again, if there's any one of these that I'm supposed to go slower on, let me know. And then I'm more than happy to dive into the ones that look really interesting. What I'm doing now is I'm just grabbing the text. I'm going to dump it into Chat GPT, in this case Perplexity, and then use Chat GPT's engine to summarize. Well, I'll actually probably use Perplexity or Claude. I think, not Claude. I'll probably use Perplexity for this. Perplexity is pretty good at this kind of stuff. And I'm going to have it summarize for us what this is talking about. The point is to get to the big level details quickly, because this document is absolutely massive. It's over 800 pages, and this isn't even the whole DD library. This is literally like an amalgamation of DD at one point in the library. We still have like straight up the whole library to go through. I didn't realize what I was signing up for when I said that we're going to go through this DD library, but I'm one of those people that once I start doing something, I'm going to fucking finish it. So this could take me into next year. Well, it's definitely going to take me into next year. I don't know if it'll take me through next year. That would be kind of nuts. We'll see. I don't fucking know. But if it does, it does. So be it. Your boy's here for the ride. And then I was texting with Newton a little bit. I need to get like a bunch of information from him on like a leave off period for what he's thinking will be really pertinent going forward. Cause I want to try to help track some of those things just so that people can monitor some of the same metrics. Cause I know he's doing stuff like the swaps and whatnot, but yeah. Okay. Here's the TLDR at the bottom. So another thing is, the TLDR being at the bottom is just a vicious move. Normally, those would be more towards the top. So, got to feel some type of way about this. Okay, so summarize this and dump this whole thing in. TCM King says, I would be interested in seeing you skip and go over when the river runs dry, more options focus. Oh, I'll definitely get there. But part of the reason of me doing this is for my own education and benefit. So I am a significant proponent of getting to base level data by ourselves individually on your own. That's why I do this on live streams with you all, is because this is exactly what I would be doing anyways. The difference is I just live stream doing it so that you all can hopefully find some more first layer information for yourselves as well. I just think that's so important to get to firsthand level information, because it's all of us have played the game of telephone. And the problem with telephone is as you go through 3, 4, 5, 6 people, the message is fucking completely different than what you started. You could be like, hey, yo, the tendies are coming. And then at the end, it'll be like, yo, I want to McGangbang. It'd just be completely fucking different than what you started as. And it's not due to anybody necessarily trying to be lame. It's due to the passage of information, and it changes over time naturally. So I am a really significant supporter of first level, first contact information. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. All right. That's not it. That's not it at all. So this got all fucked up. summarize this post. It went back to the data analysis, so I think I needed to start like a new thread. Okay, here we go. And then I'll move this over so that you guys can see it too. This can go like that. Without the platform, I actually don't know how wide the screen is, so you guys will have to let me know. I'm assuming this will be completely off your screen. How far can you see? You could see to there. Yeah, okay. So it looks like this will work. Great. Dust to Dust says, happy to hear he's not stopping his stream. He is inspirational. Oh, is he not? That's great if he's not. I hope he's not. I haven't talked to him about, I literally didn't even know that he was stopping. I don't watch all of his videos. That's literally just because I don't really watch anybody's stuff. But I'll try to catch some of his stuff sometimes, or I'll ask him some messages, like we'll text back and forth. But you guys are the ones that told me that he was talking about stopping. So if he has now decided not to, that would be fantastic. I would love that. Okay, so this is what it says. April 2020, GameStop price bottomed under 2, COVID-19 impact, shorting, tripled to 6. So this just looks like it's talking about this looks like it's just talking about like the price path of it. Dust to Dust says he said today in his video. That's awesome. That's great news. That's just a win across the board. Did he say what made him change his mind? I'm just going to text him. I'm really curious. Okay, so what is this? Post argues that GME's leadership likely supports a share recall. Okay, well, that didn't happen. See, this is the kind of thing I am genuinely kind of happy that we can skip through some of it, because if the ultimate thesis turns out to be something that's just not what happened. Is this another post? Did I go too far? Fuck, I'm lost now. Hold on. Nope, didn't mean to do that. I meant this. Okay, so this is the next post. I just want to read their TLDR. Activists in Leicester, large vote, short interest over 100%. GME does a share recall ahead of its meeting. Okay, yeah, so it just didn't happen. Okay. Good enough. TCM King says, I get that. I think there's just too much, and a lot of it is just the same. Yeah, there definitely is a lot. There ain't too much, dog. You guys don't understand. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But literally the world of a trader is sifting through massive amounts of information, quickly trying to decipher as much as you possibly can, and then making decisions off of it. So for me, this really isn't that much work. And here's the cool part. If I'm not mistaken, the built-in AI assistant, it needs the stuff just to be less than, I think it said 400 pages, which we're coming up on that. So what I'll do is I'm literally going to split this PDF into 2 different PDFs so that then we can use the native AI, which I think will be much quicker. That's my ultimate game plan. If not, you're just going to see your fucking boy doing a lot of fucking reading. All right, let's see what this says. So this, we can clear this, add this. Summarize this next doc. Nope, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong one. Summarize the second pasted file. Let's see if I can do this. I have faith. Maybe I don't fucking have faith. I've lost all faith. We have to do another thread. Summarize this attachment. There's got to be a better way to do that, though. You guys know how to fucking get it? Maybe I need to name the sources. That could be it. Speculative analysis, GameStop, potential future events could trigger a short squeeze again. So this, we can kind of flip through a bit. Yep, so Cohen joining, all that stuff. Okay. Yeah. Lead to a significant price movement in GameStop, technical indicators, potential catalyst. Yeah, so this is, again, I think this was to dust point, very much the same as kind of the last one. The next one, the naked shorting scam in numbers. I think we can comfortably move through this one pretty quickly because I feel most of us are appraised. Does this have a TLDR in it? Maybe I'll just scan through it super fast. This one I feel like we have a pretty good grasp on at this point. Why would it go to 101? That's so frustrating. 100 is great. Thanks. All right, let's flip through this. Oh, here we go. Hold. Okay, great. Built-in AI, deep in the money calls to create naked shares. Yep. So one of the things to note as I look at this is I don't think you can make this claim. And I'm actually very curious how they're going to make this claim. Deep in the money call covering seems to be the last resort of illegal desperation. It's so easy to spot. Okay. Investigated Mary put naked shorting at the Jan mini squeeze, open interest, the creation of millions of naked shares with married put trades. Put volumes appear to be sustained at higher levels to keep rolling over. I don't agree with this conclusion outright. Up to 400 million naked shares created in total. Look through 13F filings. Here we go. Clear idea of who's on which side of the battle. Okay. Dark pool data from FINRA, which we have access to. Massive changes in trade behavior since Jan. Huge increases in shares traded, but each trade is of a few shares. Okay. All right, let's see what it says. Yeah, let's do this deep in the money call thing. I'm really curious about this. When a share is sold short without being owned or borrowed, it is sold naked. Yep. Can happen as part of normal market activity. Yes. Yep. Yep. We know all this. They can resolve the FTDs without actually covering is through locates. Yes. Deep in the money calls can be bought and exercised immediately to acquire the shares and close FTDs. Let's take a look at this. That have been observed appear to circumvent certain requirements of Reg Show. Okay. Hard to borrow securities can be subject to a pricing disparity relative to options trading on the same security. Makes a ton of sense. Typically, they may be seen in synthetic positions, trading at lower price than the underlying security. That creates an arbitrage. Yep, this is exactly, yep. This creates a potential of profit, yep, for short sellers of the underlying security. if they can avoid the high cost typically associated with obtaining for delivery. That's right. Risk alerts highlights observed trading strategies that can be designed to circumvent certain requirements of Reg Show. Among other things, Reg Show requires fail to deliver positions resulting from short sale transactions to be closed out by a specific date, either by borrowing or purchasing securities of a like kind. Yes. Okay. Reg Show. Trading strategies can be used to impression purchase them by the short seller if satisfied closed out requirements of the clearing firm or the broker dealer. Okay. Reality, the purchase shares in a position are oftentimes not delivered because of subsequent options trading used to reestablish or otherwise extend the broker dealer's fail position without any demonstrable legitimate economic purpose, such that the clearing firm broker dealer allocated a fail to deliver position does not satisfy was that requirement. Okay. Yep. Same page so far. As I'm going through this, if you guys have any questions, let me know. This looks completely straightforward to me. The locate requirement, which we know purposes for market maker must also be a market maker security being sold. Yes. Okay. Provides that it constitutes a manipulative or deceptive device or contrivance. Fuck yeah. Look at that fucking word, contrivance. I don't know what y'all know about. I don't know what you guys know about anything, but I'm here trying to talk about some contrivance. I'm here also trying to order some dinner. What do you guys think is for dinner tonight? The steak last night was good. I'm almost tempted to kind of run it back, but I'm not set on it. Honestly, maybe Ian says burgers. I could do a burger. I was thinking maybe Chinese. Chinese sometimes like really scratches an itch. Might be Chinese, yo. Burgers is definitely another potential. I don't really know what leeks are, but that's kind of I like the name leeks. I've had leeks before. I don't really know what they are. I like them. Dan noodles, sardines and crackers. I do like sardines on a Caesar salad. If you can get a nice sardine on a Caesar salad, that is on fleek. I think we're going Mexican because it's fast. Leeks are like green onions. Oh, interesting. Yeah, anytime I have them, I don't really recall like a bunch of flavor from them. I just kind of know that I eat them. Perfect. All right. I'm going to wait for Mel to turn down that because I know she's not going to want it, but I have to send it to her out of just being thoughtful. Roaring Titty says cashew chicken. Oh, you mean from Chinese? I'm like a chicken with broccoli. Chicken with broccoli is good, or sesame chicken. If it's like spicy, you could put a little spice in there. That's pretty good. Yep, so she's passing on this. I'm going to ask her Chinese. Let's see if she wants that instead. All right, let's get back into this while she's sorting her life out. Okay, buy right. Here we go. Simultaneous sale of calls with the purchase of equivalent amount of shares underlying. So this is a really common strategy for larger style funds and things like that, or people that are trading for income. I was actually just going to open up the Thinkorswim platform to show you the risk profile of it. And obviously I cannot do that. So what I can do is draw. Perfect. Mel would do Chinese. So we're going to audible it and we are going to roll with Chinese. Every once in a while, I just have to like throw a random other thing by her. And every once in a while it'll connect. And it looks like we got it tonight, which is great. Do you guys like a PF Chang's kind of Chinese, or like a local Chinese place? I like the local stuff way better. signature lo mein, that looks good. Sesame chicken, that is 100% happening. We don't need any extras with that. And then I think we need chicken with broccoli. Perfect. Local, New York has the best. Yeah, New York has really, really good Chinese food. That's one thing I do miss about New York in general, is New York is kind of like a melting pot for all different kinds of foods. And there are a lot of really, really good foods there. I'm a massive fan. Okay, so let me draw this for you. Does everybody know what a buy right is? Because if you do, then I can skip over this. But if you don't, then I can draw it out super fast. You guys can let me know what your leaning is. Willie says need. Okay, so Joe doesn't. That's totally cool. As long as we have one no, then it's worth the time. So let me grab this. We'll do this, this, and this. So you guys should be able to. Perfect. So here's a buy right. I can buy to open 100 shares of GameStop. And the risk profile for this, are you guys familiar with what a risk profile is? A risk profile just plots the P&L of something. So this is a zero line. This is your negative return. This is positive return. And then this is stock price. This is stock at zero, which is today, right now. And then this is stock as it goes up. And then this is stock as it goes down. So when you buy 100 shares at spot price, it'll look something like, not that, right? So what this does is it means as GameStop goes up, you make money. As it goes down, you lose money. I think everybody's pretty comfortable and familiar with that. Now, a buy right is when we do this first trade and then we pair it with a second trade, which is when we sell to open one, and then it can be whatever strike call. So X call at $1, whatever the price is. So what this means is we're going to collect a $100 credit up front, and then our new risk profile will look like this. So rather than having unlimited upside potential like you see here, the other trade would look like this. This one takes this departure. And it's because you're collecting money up front on the call. So a lot of people will do this when they are getting into stocks that they really like, that they want to hold, that they don't mind holding. And it's a way to collect a little bit of a premium, literally, while you're getting into something that you want to be in anyways. So there's no love lost on buying the shares, selling the call against it. That's the idea behind it. Buy rates associated with the activity at issue employ deep in the money calls. A married put is the simultaneous purchase of a put and a purchase of equivalent amount of shares in the underlying. So a married put, by comparison, is this. Back to the risk profile that you all are experts on now. This is price. Again, this is the zero line. And what a married put is designed to do is you buy to open 100 shares. And then you buy to open one X strike put at whatever, $1. So in this case, you're going to pay $100. But what this does is, if you remember the first line, this here is stock at zero. This is what long stock looks like. When we look at the buy right, it looks like this. Let me use a different color. buy right will look like this. And then a married put will instead look like this. But it won't go past the 0 line. So this is the difference. This is what a buy right will look like. If I were to extrapolate it out by itself, it would be like this. And the purpose of this is you limit your downside. So this means if GameStop goes down to 0, your max loss is capped here. And it looks great, right? Like, why wouldn't everybody do this? Well, most people don't do it because it's really expensive to buy the puts. It's really, really expensive on a relative level. So that's what those two look like in conjunction with one another. So now let's take a look at the rest of this, because I'm actually really curious what it thinks the total connection is. I've not seen the description through this yet. I've not looked through this whole thing. Joe says, okay, I do know what buying to open covered calls and so on. I didn't know it was a buy right. It's just called a buy right. And it's not right as in right or left. It's right as in writing, like you're writing an option. That's an old way of saying selling an option. People don't really use that anymore, writing an option, but that's an old way of saying selling an option. You write an option. So that's why it's called a buy right, because of just older school language. Okay. When associated with the activity at issue, married puts typically employ deep in the money puts. Flex options are exchange level options that have non-standard customizable contract terms. The main features of flex options compared to standard traded options are the ability to specify strike price and expiration date. Yep. Price at the market, put call parity, yes. Synthetics, yes. Here we go. Periodically, securities become hard to borrow, and where the large and persistent fails to deliver in a security end up threshold security list. These situations give rise to pricing differentials in the options of these securities, and the put call parity equation may appear out of balance, which is in part a reflection of higher borrowing rates on these securities. When the shares become hard to borrow, the synthetic position typically trades at a price that are less than the actual shares. This reflects the risk that shares cannot be borrowed and will have to be bought in compliance with Reg Show closeout requirements. In the extreme, these price differences can be quite large, creating potential profit opportunities in certain options trading strategies for those who are able to short the underlying equity securities without paying the high cost typically associated with obtaining delivery of hard to borrow security that were sold short. Yep, makes total sense. I dig all of this. This is really, like, I think they did a good job outlining this because it's super, super clear. One strategy could be designed to take advantage of potential profit opportunities. Roaring Titty. What up, Roaring Titty? Roaring Titty says, Prob Kitty, who loads up on 125s every expiration. Kitty is the DGen master. That's funny. I highly doubt it, but it could be, and they would be fucking hilarious. But yeah, I severely doubt that it's him. Why am I getting added to these fucking WhatsApp groups, dude? WhatsApp is super annoying. Trippy says maybe that's what they were doing with those massive 125 puts. Do you mean 125 puts or calls? Because most people are typically talking about the super far out of the money calls, which is generally just unit building. I'm not sure about the put scenario that you're referring to, but we could take a look at it. All right. Activity most often done by broker dealers who claim to rely on the exceptional locate requirement for options market makers. Options market makers claim they can enter into the short stock position without first locating the shares to borrow because it's part of a bona fide market making activity. Although an options market maker engaged in bona fide market making activity may claim an exemption or exception to the locate to comply with Reg Show, the options market maker still must deliver in shares in settlement, or if in a failed to deliver position results in a clearing firm, the fail to deliver must be closed out in accordance with Reg Show. Maybe a violation. Yeah. Where the market maker does not deliver shares and engages in subsequent transactions in order to give the appearance of satisfying the clearing firm's obligations to purchase or borrow the security to close out the resulting fail to settlement. That's fascinating. In addition, where a clearing firm subject to closeout requirements purchases or borrows securities, applicable closeout. Yeah. All right, so they're talking about building a synthetic long. Assuming XYZ is hard to borrow, trader A or its broker dealers unwilling to borrow shares to make delivery on the short sale of actual shares, it may result in FTD. Rather than paying the borrowing fee on the shares to make delivery or unwinding the position, they may enter into a trade that gives the appearance of satisfying the closeout requirements, but in reality allows trader A to maintain the short position without ever delivering on the short sale. Most often this is done through the use of buy right, but may also be done as a mirrored put. Interesting. Trades are commonly referred to as reset transactions. They have the effect of resetting the time that a broker-dealer must purchase or borrow. Yep, and we know that this is happening. And this is one of the main issues, because we look at this, we know that this is happening, and we also know that to the degree that this is happening, there's nothing that technically can stop it unless it's regulated out, because you can just perpetuate the position. That's the whole point of it. Roaring Titty says, are there even 125 puts? Yeah, well, if there's 125 call, I would pull it up on the platform. But if there's 125 calls, there would be 125 puts. They are side by side with one another in an options chain. So very interesting. I'll drop this in here for you all to take a look at your leisure. But I like that one. That was interesting. I think we can close that. Let's see where we're at in this thing. Look at this. We're literally halfway through the third row. Fucking hell. This is a big project we started. Funds have FTDs outstanding and required. I won't go into all the details, but point you towards God tier DD. Okay. Well, got to look at God tier DD. Okay. Can't look at God tier DD. One way naked short can resolve. Deep in the money calls can be bought and exercised immediately. Yep. $140 million FTDs being hidden since January. AI detection of option volumes used to hide FTDs and FTD values. Let me see. So I see the point that he's making. Yeah, so I like this I agree with totally. Suspicious deep in the money call volumes. I completely agree with this as suspicious and definitely correlated to a degree. Completely agree with that. But the problem with these kinds of things when we're conducting this style of analysis is there is a lot of stuff going on. And when we start to see FTD starting to skyrocket, there's typically other things going on in the underlying at that point in time. So thus the problem here is we're looking at two indiscrete variables discretely. There's other stuff at play when we're looking at this, and then we're trying to design a causal relationship that may or may not be there. So I completely agree on the suspicious element of this. I 100% agree with that. But I think that we can't make the leap that we're saying that it's evidence that there's 140 million FTDs being hidden because FTDs happen to coincide with call activity, because we can see that FTDs also skyrocket here, and then there's really no significant rise in the call activity. So same thing here. So as a causal relationship, I don't know if it gets that. Now, when things get to an extreme like this, which looks like during the 2021 move, it's no surprise that you would see everything start to get out of whack at that point. So that's not to say that there's nothing behind this. I completely agree. But I think that you can't make a definitive causal relationship. We can speculate. We can say that this is suspicious. We can say that we think that this is tied. We can say that we think this is going on. But I think that's different than saying something like this. And again, this is the nature of how I analyze things, is I'm very reluctant to discreetly decide yay or nay, or to qualify something as something until I have a really rigorous analysis behind it. And this is just missing a couple pieces. So I think this is on the right track. I think it's looking at a clear problem. Completely agree with all that. But I don't think that it necessarily leads to the discrete conclusion that they're coming with. Here we see that suspicious deep in the money call volumes often precede big price increases. This suggests that this illegal trick is used as a last resort. So easy to see even by eye looking at options chains. When shorts go desperate, they go deep calls. Yes, I agree with using options even just to offset the potential margin requirements and stuff that they would have from the shorts. But here's one of the problems I see with this is that, again, if we're assuming that the shorts are able to see, ahead of these really big moves, and then they're using options ahead of these known big moves, my guess is the shorts would do one of two things. They would either just close the shorts and then reopen them. Their basis is not sensitive in that way. Or they might just wade through the perceived short squeeze and size the trade so that they can withstand what they would, again, preemptively be thinking is going to happen in front of these big moves. So this is really tricky because you can see volume and you can see options activity in general expand ahead of big moves. And part of it, I think 100% is likely due to some of this activity for sure. But I also think a lot of it is people speculating. Things get active progressively, and we can pick up on those artifacts in the options chain. That's exactly, and I've told you guys this a million times, this is exactly how I found GameStop when I started as a content creator, is because I happened to have caught it on a few different scans. I traded it, and then I made a couple of videos about the stuff going on because it was interesting. And then obviously that now is me reading a fucking 800-page DD library on Saturday night with everybody. It's kind of funny how shit progresses. But me detecting some options volume is what originally drew me into this most recently. We see that SI decreased massively after all the suspicious call activity in late Jan, as well as getting FTD under controls. And here's the other problem, is that there's other ways that they can kick these FTDs around. So yeah, I'm sure that once the FTDs get to an extreme that they're probably moving. Married puts, reverse conversions, abuse of stock. Yep, we read this. Where's Melvin Capital at today? That's a lot of put without any GME shares or calls. They had 6 million shares in puts. Maple Lane had 2 million. Okay. So big short losers have no shares, large put positions. Okay. Melvin takes the biggest prize with 6 million shares. Here are the main offenders. Okay. This is a solid DD. I like this one a lot. They have a lot of really good information. Engorged war chests. I'm assuming that was Worcestershire, but it got cut off. I have no idea the GME price. It depends on what your little grapes are telling you. I don't know if it's like cherries or grapes, but I'm not, whatever value that they give you in your tummy, that's probably the correct value. By the way, great to see you as per usual. How can bona fide market maker privileges be abused? Yeah, so we just read all this. Again, this is the cool part, is we read all this firsthand. Yeah. Okay. That's a solid DD. So a couple things I picked up from that I think really are pertinent specifically are the use of options to perpetuate FTDs. And I think the relationship between FTDs and deep in the money call trading activity as reported by them is definitely interesting. I think that it's multivariate. It can't be broken down to just those variables, unfortunately, but overall, I think that it's still really, really decent information. This seems like it's going to be, yeah, this is kind of what I was expecting. Let's go through these conclusions. All right. Hedge funds are indeed deep in a hole, have not covered, and are trading high volumes in dark pools in an attempt to kick the can down the road. All this explains the low volume. In the OTC data post, user shows institutions involved at these dark pools do in fact own shares of GME. They are trading over 100,000 of the shares they own. I don't understand this conclusion. Person said GME is one of the hardest stocks to short right now, but the reason the bar rate is so low is because there's almost zero demand. The part that I don't understand, this can all be, right? The fact that hedge funds are deep in a hole, have not covered, that I can all see. But this is the part that I don't understand, is trading high volumes in dark pools in an attempt to kick the can. I don't understand the relationship that they're making here with the volume in dark pools and how that kicks the can. If you guys know the answer to that, I would love to know. I just don't understand that one. GME is insanely hard to borrow right now. Very little demand to short it. Dark pool activity helps us further explain the FTD cycle. Why do we see these spikes in price and volume every 35-ish calendar days? So they've been talking about these cycles for years now. SEC regulation forced them to cover, but why does it keep happening? Still naked shorting. Why else there would be this much OTC activity? Yep. I agree with that. I think the other thing to at least highlight from something like this without a doubt is there's other shit that happens in the 35 calendar day cycle, right? Like there's also standard options expirations and movement of the underlying that's going to feed into this. But I absolutely agree with this. Like they're going to naturally just continue to move things down the road. So I think that that's a completely fair point. Roaring Titty says it affects price discovery, especially when 80-90% of the trades are in the dark pool. I don't disagree with that. The part that I'm saying though that I don't understand is I don't understand how the dark pool volume kicks the can down the road. I understand what dark pools are, how dark pools obfuscate things. And the other thing just to keep in mind is like dark pool trades still hit the tape. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't understand. There's just a delay and it's not that long typically. So dark pool trades absolutely do not help price discovery, but it also eventually, typically pretty shortly thereafter, is integrated into the consolidated tape. The stuff that really fucks price discovery is internalization. That butchers price discovery holistically because that stuff will not hit a consolidated tape. So to me, it's interesting that dark pools, it's probably because the name sounds so much more nefarious than it actually is, but dark pools are visible to everybody. It's just a slightly delayed reporting structure, and it is combined with the consolidated tape. Most of the buys go to the dark pool and the sells go to the market. Yeah, but I still don't understand that because they both will be integrated into the consolidated tape. So I don't see how high volumes in dark pools kicks the proverbial can of open shorts down the road. Like that, I just don't get. Roaring Clitty says volume can hide FTDs. If you buy and sell, you can settle the old FTDs so they can do this in the dark pools. That I totally get. That makes sense. Thank you. That's a perfectly rational description. So the idea is that not necessarily the fact that it's dark pools, but that they're transacting to satiate the requirement and then they're subsequently unwinding to maintain the original position. Roaring Titty says because they do shady shit in the dark pool, spoofing, for example. Spoofing is not relegated to the dark pool. Spoofing happens all the time on broad markets. And that's more of a high frequency trading thing. So dark pools themselves are no more prone to something like spoofing than anything else. But on a standard brokerage platform, you're going to see spoofs all the time. That's just a game played between high frequency traders and market makers. What DC says, visibility doesn't really matter here, though. It's about the average retail traders thinking they're buying shares in a company, but it's actually getting FTD'd. That's kind of different. Like those are two different things. The function of a retail trader buying something is different than the FTD function that's happening. In my opinion, the big issue with the FTD function is that it is artificially going to suppress price. And the way that it artificially suppresses price is because these otherwise entities would be forced to go and purchase the shares to satisfy the short, which increases demand, drives price up. So the fact that that is not happening and the shorts are being maintained, that is a massive problem. Roaring Clitty says, have you read anything about Dr. Trimbath? I think I did. She has a ton of good info on all this. She worked for the DTC upgrade, the DRS process, wrote a book about FTD's naked trading. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched an interview with her. But yeah, your description for this is, completely satisfactory. It makes a ton of sense. OTC data adds credence to the idea that FTD cycle is getting more and more expensive. Shorts are increasing their positions rapidly time passes. I don't disagree with that. They purposely sideline themselves and are waiting for proposed regulatory rules to take effect so the squeeze doesn't destroy the financial system. Shorts are using dark pools to suppress buying pressure to drop the price by rapidly. Yes. So this would make sense by rapidly trading. The thing that makes this work is not the fact, again, that it's dark pools to suppress. This is just the conclusions here are a little misleading to me because this is the function, rapidly trading between each other. That absolutely would do it. FTD cycle is persistent, exemplifies naked shorting problem, as Dr. Trimbath discussed, which you guys already highlighted. February rise was as a result of forced coverings, January drop. They still have large positions. Funds are working in tandem because they're both in too deep and it's futile and just delaying the inevitable. Activity on GME containing ETFs demonstrate how desperate they are getting. Yep, I think we've seen that. Because the other thing that I don't know if it was known at this point in time in here, but one of the things that was really, really interesting is the ETF creation and redemption cycle. Because that's also literally like a glitch to satisfy FTDs. And that's another massively abused process as far as I'm concerned. Super interesting. I like this one. Cool. it is about time for me to hop off. But before we do that, is there anything else that we should take a look at? I'm down to take a peek at anything else real fast. I need to add my note for where we left off, which is here. Stop point 7Ds. Post. So I got our spot where we're going to pick back up from. All right, let me see what you guys have. Unvaxxmas says, do you believe in synthetic shares and hidden short interest? Yeah, definitely. 100%. Synthetic shares are used all the time, and synthetic shares are a really cost-effective way for them to do things. That's actually what that other thing we were reading earlier that I posted in the chat is all about. So 100%. It's not even like, do I believe in it? It's like straight up proven. It's factual. The hidden high short interest, I absolutely have suspicions that it's a thing. It's harder for me to prove it, but I absolutely think it's a thing. So that one is a little bit larger of a leap of speculation on my end, because I can't discreetly prove it like I can some of the synthetic process. But I absolutely think it's occurring. I also think anytime that you have a company that is over 100% shorted, which we absolutely have seen, is fucking crazy. Like it's fucking crazy. Entity says synthetic shares are counterfeit shares unless you're a market maker. I think that's a little bit too big of a leap personally, because retail traders can use synthetic shares. There's genuinely use cases for them. You can create synthetic longs, synthetic shorts. Like it's a viable strategy. Now, to your point, which I fully agree with, I don't want to demonize synthetics, because synthetics, there's nothing inherently wrong with them. The problem with synthetics in the context of market making is complete and utter bullshit. It's literally being used to hide and defer FTDs. So the problem in that process, in my opinion, is not synthetics, but it's the FTD process and the deferral. And synthetics happen to be a vector that they've exposed that they can do it through. And again, in my opinion, like that's complete madness. That is complete fucking madness. But it's a fucking unfortunate thing as it is, I suppose. Yeah. WTDC says trade should be settled. We've had the tech do that for over a decade, but it isn't profitable. Market plumbing like hedge funds, market makers, brokerages. Completely agree with that. And I also think that it's fucking crazy that, and this is it is the absolute problem when you have an entire market structure system that is solely cared about liquidity. Like that being the primary focus is a massive problem, because it contorts what policy goes into effect to then enable liquidity. And sometimes liquidity should dry the fuck up in a natural process, as it should. So I completely agree with that as well. Roaring Titty says they are selling shit they don't own and didn't borrow. Again, synthetics can be done different ways. So I would caution you against demonizing synthetics, because say, for example, as soon as you're integrating options, you still are taking on a liability depending on what you build. The problem that I have with them is that they're doing it in the context of trying to cover a position that they have not covered. Like that's utter and complete bullshit. It literally is bullshit. Especially from an entity like market makers. They should literally be forced to satisfy those positions, because it's the only way that you can maintain legitimacy of the system. So yeah, I completely agree with that element of the point. I just don't think synthetics are the demon here. I think the problem is the way that they're being used is complete bullshit. So, all right, gang. Awesome hanging out as per always. If you guys need anything, hit me up. Be an outlier. I'll see y'all later.